Hello, my name is Gerhard and I'm one of the owners of Sunbeam Yachts, and I want to introduce you our latest brand, the new Sunbeam 46.1. The Sunbeam 46.1 is a blue water cruiser specially made for short-handed cruise, excellent in ergonomics and easy to sail. You have plenty of room inside. You have light inside, and this comes from the hull windows and the deck windows. The boat is built with a self-launching anchor. The standard anchor is a delta anchor, and the boat can be enlarged with a bowsprit. In the bowsprit there is an integrated front ladder. The anchor winch is standard and is mounted on the deck. There is plenty of room for the anchor chain. You can have more than 120 meter anchor if you want. Behind the anchor locker there is a collusion bulkhead. The boat also can be mounted with a mooring winch. The front storage locker is also a collusion bulkhead. So you have two collusion bulkheads. In the boat locker is plenty of room, nearly 3 cubic meter. You can store the sails, the fenders and everything else in it. Sail-wise, you have a standard furling system for the Jenner, or you can also add an electrical furling system. On the anchor system or on the bowsprit, you can have a pad eye for the Code-Zero or the Jenner. Behind the front locker, there is an eye for the cutter sail. The stanchions of the guardrails are extra protected. We have bolts which can be fixed on the hull, and if someone takes the stanchion away, the boat will not be destroyed. It was really important for us to make a safe, comfortable and practical cockpit. Comfortable because of the big cockpit table, about the seats and the height of the seats, about the easy use of the winches and the easy access into the boat. Practical because of the seats of the coaming and the massive locker space. We have storage on both sides in the cockpit for the halyards and the ropes. We have a separate halyard locker on the companionway, and we have a really big locker in the aft. We made it safe because we added an arch which keeps away the main sheet. We added this sun deck on the aft because it keeps away the crew from the back, and we made a high coaming because the movement around the cockpit is much more easier and safe. The boat is installed with 2 pedestals because everything shall be under control, and it's an easy look at the jib. The main winch is usually manual, but it also can be driven electrical. So everything is under control from one side. Okay, I show you some details of the cockpit. Press the autopilot. Everything is driven automatically from the helm. The anchor system, the light, the passing platform, and if you're really heeling, you can get up and you can press your foot against it, so you're really stable. We have not only a big locker space, we also have a platform for as a sun deck. It's really extremely comfortable to sit here because it's silent, there is no wind and enough space for 2 to 3 people. The head of the helm is designed by ourselves. You can have a button for the electrical jib reeving system, the stern thruster, the bow thruster, all these equipment for the light, for the anchor system. The easy handling is really important. This is the reason why we installed the throttle on the head of the helm, so you have everything under control in the marina. Now we are coming into the forward cabin. You can see big locker built up with drawers. The forward cabin is the owner cabin and built with an island bed. The island bed is almost 170 wide and 2 meter long. We supply it with a ventilation mattress, and on the side you can see a nice dressing table. Starboard and port side we have plenty room for storage, and under the bed you have also plenty storage room built up as a drawer. The owner cabin has an ensuite heads compartment with an extra shower room. The headroom is 206 centimeter. It's built up with a separate toilet, a sink, mirror and plenty of storage room. There is also the possibility to mount a washing machine in it. The saloon has plenty room for the whole crew. As you see, it's bright. On the side you can see the hull windows. If you are sitting down, you can see the waterline. The headroom is 190. The mast compression post is made out of a special aluminium covered. The wood is varnished naturally and it's a real wood interior made out of a marine plywood. The floor, the interior, the table, everything is made out of real wood. You have plenty of storage in the saloon, under the saloon floor, under the seats, behind the seats, and in the locker, port and starboard side. On the aft side in the saloon you have a lot of drawers. The saloon seat is C-shaped and flexible. You can move the seat from the side to the center of the saloon if you are in the harbor. On sea you have a clear, easy passage here. So you have an easy access and you can sit face to face. The chart table is on the starboard side in the saloon. Easy reachable for the technique and plenty of storage room for the cards, and behind there is a storage for tools, for safety equipment. And under the chart table we have drawers for all the tiny things you need during sailing. You can move the chart table forward if you want to have a separate shower room. In this case you have a double seat on the starboard side. The companionway steps are dished. Even when you are on sea, you have an easy step to come into the saloon. Behind the step there is the engine room. The engine room is reachable from port side, starboard side and from the front side. Under the steps there is a shoe locker. The heads compartment nearby the companionway is easy for use at sea. It's built up with a shelf, mirror and storage room, a sink and a toilet. The headroom is more than 2 meters. The galley is designed in a J shape, so you can work on it easily outside and in the harbor. The surface is nearly 320 long. It's designed with a double sink and a big locker storage. You also can do it instead of the locker with a second refrigerator. You have plenty room, a waste bin. The stove has a foldable cover. And on the right hand side there is the standard fridge. Different drawers is for the equipment. On the top there are 3 big lockers, and all of them have pack storage. The galley is made out with an artificial stone Hymex surface and angled fiddles. The reason for that is it's easy to clean. The double cabin in the aft is built with a headroom of 197. The length of the bed is over 2 meters and it's 150 wide. In front of the bed there is a seat, and down below is a locker space. Outboard there are hanging lockers and shelves built in with light. In addition, in each cabin there are 2 reading lamps and sockets for 220 volt. Ventilation in the cabins is very important, so we build it with windows on the side and a hatch on the top. The yacht can be built in a 2-cabin or 3-cabin version. If it is built in a 2-cabin version, the starboard cabin is built as a big locker with easy access to the cockpit. Outboard there is a shelf for boxes, and you can take down everything, the bikes or the other stuff, from the cockpit directly into this locker. Let's talk quickly about the hull. It has an elegant chairline, a modern deck design, and 2 chines which enlarge the volume and the buoyancy. What I'd like to speak about is the technical side of the boat. What we want to explain now is the connection of the boat thruster to the hull, the cabling, and the installation of the tanks and the equipment. The tube of the boat thruster is not simply drilled. The tube and the hole is laminated. So there is no possibility to get osmosis on this boat thruster tube. There is a separate battery for the anchor winch and the boat thruster. And the battery is installed very close to this equipment, so you don't lose any current. This bulkhead behind me is a watertight bulkhead, important for a blue water cruiser, and the fuses are circuit breakers, and all the cables are fed above the waterline, so the humidity will not destroy any cable. Behind the equipment, the water tank is installed. The water tank is made out of high-grade stainless steel. It's important to protect the cables from moisture, so we are using tinned copper cables to be protected against the humidity. And in addition, we are feeding the cables above the waterline. If you want to access anything under the floor, you have to deinstall the floor. And this is the reason why we use these high-grade steel metal inserts for the screws, and you can easily access the floor and take back the screws again. And now let's talk about the bilge. In the bilge you can see the inner tray, the keel bolts, the bilge pumps and the keel plates. The inner tray is a carbon reinforced glass fiber. We use glass fiber because it contracts and expands on the same rate like the hull. The inner tray flanges are glued to the hull and the backing plates, the flanges of the inner tray and the inner tray is bolted to the keel. The keel is recessed into the hull and this spreads the load into a wider area. The floor panels, the bulkheads and the interior is protected with felt. This stops squeezing the wood together and the result is a silent boat. The seacocks and the skin fittings throughout the boat are easy to access and easy to maintain and to operate. In between the aft locker and the aft cabin we have a technical space to get out all the noise and the humidity. Here are all the pumps, all the inverters and all the electrical details. In the starboard aft cabin there are the circuit breakers installed and beside the batteries, so you have a minimum of power loss. In the aft cabin port side there are the diesel tanks installed, and in between the both aft cabins there is the engine room. In the engine room there is plenty of space also for the generator, and on the back side we have the stern thruster which is installed in the skeg. Thank you very much for watching all the details. If you want to know something more about us or our Sunbeam 46, visit our website or get in contact with us directly. Thank you.